Welcome back to my channel, and let's tune into tarot for the month of July 2021. For all Scorpios with a sun, moon, or rising sign there in their chart, this reading is for you. Now, do keep in mind this is a general forecast, so it will not resonate for every Scorpio out there, but take what resonates and leave the rest behind for someone else. And I hope you find this helpful and provide some guidance and insight for your month ahead. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so for the first week of the month, Scorpios, we have the Five of Cups reversed. This is the third time I've pulled this card today, really, out of the 6 readings that I've done. So 50%, this has been pulled in the first week. I think it's a little more than a coincidence. I'm going to go ahead and say it's a synchronicity. So there's a lot of healing going on this month for many of the signs. The Five of Cups reversed indicates that you have come through a period of time where you've maybe felt disappointed in regards to a situation, possibly a relationship that fell apart, or some kind of emotional upset or turmoil or despair or depression, just some overwhelming emotions, a situation that you've been very disappointed about and have been unable to kind of move out of or really see the light at the end of the tunnel. But you're now in this reverse position, able to finally move forward, finally kind of close the cycle, or at least feel like a little bit of relief to the point where you can start to move in a forward direction. You can start to move on. You've started to heal. You've started to mend. You've processed some of this emotion and the wounds and the trauma associated with this situation or circumstance. And so you're able to now see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're able to see the bridge that takes you across that river to the castle that's illuminated on the other side of the bank. And so again, you see the brighter future that awaits you, and you're able to step into that now. In the second week, we do have the Queen of Cups reversed. So to me, this is saying that you are still, while you're in a position where you're able to move forward and move on, you're still quite tender, okay, in the heart space. You're still a little bit guarded. You're not really, you don't trust people. You're not like willing to just jump into another relationship right away, or you're not able to trust people in general. You're just very guarded, very tender, and still emotional, maybe even a little bit closed off or depressed, or you're just putting your heart above your head. So you're not thinking very logically, you're thinking more emotionally, and it's sort of overriding any logical thought process. So yeah, you're a little tender still, although you've come a long way as far as being able to at least move forward and see that that previous situation is not good for you. And so you're at least moving in the right direction. Now in this third week, we do have the Justice card. So what this is saying to me is that whatever situation or circumstance you're walking away from, or you're moving on from, you're seeing now from a perspective that allows you to feel like you have the upper hand, or that you are in a better position now than you were before. And that even though what you've gone through is challenging and has created a lot of pain and wounds and whatnot, you feel like you've learned the lessons from that situation, and you see why it had to unfold in that way, in order to put you in a position of where you are now. And so you just feel like karmically you're being rewarded, and you have the upper hand to some extent. But the Justice card can also indicate some kind of legal dispute or contract negotiations or justice system negotiations of some kind. So do keep that in mind. The Justice card can signify Libra. So I'm wondering if whatever situation you are walking away from or walking on from, moving on from, has to do with a Libra possibly, or a Libra placement, strong Libra placement. Yeah, so we will go ahead and pull the next card. So in the fourth week, we have the Five of Wands. So this is another card of conflict. we've got 2 5 cards showing up today, and then the Justice. So yeah, it looks like a kind of a conflicted month, although you are in a position where you're moving on. It's just like, it seems like you're being held up a little bit with this 5 of Wands, because while this is a conflict card, it's almost an energy of like everyone's talking at the same time. Nobody's listening to each other, so no forward movement, no forward progress is really made. Although you are ready to move on from a situation, it's almost like you're ready to move on, but you have to wait for the trial, or you have to wait for this negotiation to go through the justice system, and that takes forever, right? So it's like you're in a position to move on, however, you're sort of stalled in waiting for the legal system or the justice system to kind of run its course. And so it does require patience for sure. This month, you're going to need patience. So keep that in mind. And let's see, what else can I say about, sometimes the 5 of Wands can be like a brainstorming card as far as like work goes. So you might have some staff meetings, and everyone has these ideas, but you need like a system almost to implement the ideas, or like experiment with them and decide if it's truly right for the business or not. So it can be a brainstorming card. But again, it's kind of like there's not a lot of forward movement or progress, although it does look like you're in a position where you're ready to move on. You're kind of stopped and thwarted. But ultimately, it seems like you feel like you have the upper hand. But it just, things are kind of slowed and stalled at the moment. And so you do need to be patient. Like, I think patience is a strong message coming through this month. Now, our final word of wisdom, we have stars in the sky. This is limitless possibility. Okay, so this is also the 3rd time that this card has come out today. So I do shuffle these cards thoroughly. That's another thing I've said multiple times already today. But these 2 cards have been coming out a lot today. So I would call that a synchronicity and not so much just a coincidence. But we'll go ahead and see what the Shaman's Dream Oracle has to say for stars in the sky. This is number 51. This has to do with themes of limitless possibility and embracing opportunity. When you look up into the velvety dark blanket of the night sky, covering the vast expanse of space, can you count all the stars twinkling above? Can you imagine that you are only glimpsing a teeny sliver of what is actually there? This is the domain of limitless possibility, of the never-ending sea of potential that you yourself are made of and have now at your disposal. Your life right now is alive with possibility and needs your clear focus to home in on what avenue of exploration most calls to you. It's time to choose and not be distracted by the sheer magnitude of what may be. Be here now. Gather your thoughts and your most cherished dreams. Focus on the brightest star in your never-ending sky and take small steps, small movements towards calling this glittering potential into reality. If you can imagine this and hold that vision, you will summon all the celestial helpers and guides to aid you in bringing it into fruition. Keep your focus on the essence of potential rather than the form of it. The universe has its own ideas of how best to serve you and all of us at the same time. Trust this as fact rather than theory, and you ought not act surprised when your dreams come true, for they surely will, exactly how you need them to. Okay, so what's kind of interesting is that I pulled this card, Stars in the Sky, but when I initially was kind of reading through this before I clicked record, I read the description for the wall, which actually feels more appropriate to the spread. So I kind of want to read the wall message also, even though I didn't pull that card. So the wall has to do with obstacles, being inconvenienced by life, detours, and non-action. So there are moments in your life when you are so geared up, so sure that you are on track with such drive and momentum that you are shocked and confused when you encounter a wall. This unpredictability occurs outside your ability to plan, regardless of if you've done everything right in alignment with the divine. It's imperative that you change your attitude now. This temporary roadblock is not an obstacle to blast through. This is not an invitation to push harder, cancel other plans, or worry about who will win or lose. This is a stopping point to enable you to slow down and contemplate the part of the manifesting equation that you and everyone else forgets. Life on life's terms will override your best laid plans. Yes, as inconvenient as it may seem, this experience is an important reminder that you are a human being, not a human doing. Perhaps you're being reminded of your mortality, or that you are but a small part of a bigger universe where your destiny intersects with others. Your life may be meant to serve another purpose at this moment, and your attention meant to be directed elsewhere. Consider that this place of temporary non-action is exactly meant to be for you. Perhaps it's because all you desire and have set in motion needs time to coalesce into form on the other side. Could it be that all the elements are not yet in place for its manifestation to be for the highest good of all? Patience is required now, and the wisdom that this might be a great time to take a break and contemplate gratitude. What is truly yours will never be walled off from you. So yeah, I don't know, that just felt more relevant to the spread because we're dealing with kind of this slowing down energy with the conflict of the Five of Wands and patience being required with the whole justice system or legal system that might be coming into play for you this month, and just being inconvenienced by life. So it seems like there's a lot of kind of inconvenience, you got the Five of Cups, the Five of Wands, so that's conflict, and you got the justice system. But ultimately, it does seem like you have the upper hand. You're going to come out on top. However, there's some slowing with the energy of the Five of Wands. So it does require patience, as I mentioned. Now, Scorpios, I hope that brought some guidance and insight into your month ahead of July. And if this resonated with you at all, please comment below, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with any of your Scorpio friends. I do appreciate you being here today, and I will check in with you next month. Take care.